Millennium Development Goals are the world's time-bound and quantified targets for addressing extreme poverty in its many dimensions. These include income poverty, hunger, disease, lack of adequate shelter, and exclusion. The Millennium Development Goals also promote gender equality, education, and environmental sustainability. The first Millennium Development Goal has two targets: to halve the number of people whose income is less than $1 a day between 1990 and 2015, and to halve the number of people who suffer from hunger in the same period. This year, a group of 13 SERV volunteers travelled to South Africa to work in partnership and solidarity with two of SERV's partners, Tapologo and Tsholofelo, both based in Phokeng, just outside the industrial city of Rustenburg. Tsholofelo is the Setswana word for hope. Tswana is the dominant language in the Northwest Province, where SERV volunteers have stayed and worked since 2005. The Tsholofelo community was founded in 1992 by Sister Georgina Boswell and Brother Joseph Kiley. The Tsholofelo community works with and for the poor and marginalised people living in the squatter camps and informal settlements in the Rustenburg area. Tapologo, meaning compassion, was founded in 1997. There are four main areas to its work: home-based care visits to people who are unable to come to clinics. This ensures that they have enough food at home to take their antiretroviral medicine. One of the indicators identified to measure the number of people suffering from hunger is to measure the prevalence of underweight children under 5 in a country. SERV facilitate this by training care workers in the orphan and vulnerable children centres to keep accurate records of children's height and weight. SERV have done this by bringing in professional nurses and doctors as volunteers, facilitating accredited first aid training, encouraging and emphasising the importance of meticulous record keeping, and equipping the centres with accurate electronic scales. Jackie is the coordinator of Tapologo's Orphan and Vulnerable Children Centres. She has overall responsibility for coordinating the activities of the 3 centres in Boitakong, Ledick and Freedom Park, which care for around 800 children.
Once a week, Jackie visits all 3 OVC centres. Some of the SERV volunteers accompany Jackie on her journey around the centres as she explained the services that each one provides for the vast amount of children who attend. We learned that the money provided by Tapologo helps to provide a daily meal for the children. Jackie explains how there are currently 258 children who all attend this small OVC centre in Boitakong. They are looking to relocate to a bigger building in order to provide a more comfortable space for the amount of children they care for.
This clinic to this building to Tapologo, OVC.
Right.
And now that is very small, and then we are carrying 249 children.
Wow.
And then in this small building, and then the children are supposed to come here also, like all the centers, on daily basis for their meals, for their homeworks, for everything. They are supposed to come here. And then now that I've shown you that place, that we are going to use this place to move from here to there.
You've nearly the same number of children being fed here as at the other stations, but it's so much smaller.
Yeah,
Much
you
more
can see how
comfort,
small.
yeah.
It's different.
Simela.
Hi. We are trying to squeeze everything. Like they must have the the same programs. At least these ones are having the television with them.
So you do the same program
The
in each of the three stations,
They have to do all the same thing in the stations.
And would you have good community involvement in this centre as well?
Yes, the community involvement also.
Because this township looks more developed than say Freedom
as
Park.
opposed
It has moved on, hasn't it? Yeah.
But it used to be like Freedom Park before.
Yes.
Really?
So
But
it's changed.
the community involvement also is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even the fact that you're getting the new centre built in the community centre makes a difference. It
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then we are also like having the delinquent children. What do you call them?
Yeah, same word.
Yeah. They normally, I'll show you their centers down there.
Okay.
They also come here to volunteer.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Jackie shows us the storeroom in the centre. Even though spaces and resources are limited, it is clear that the OVC workers are dedicated in keeping everything organised and sustained in order to maintain the centre.
Some of the centers whereby we can see that there's the storage where we store our food properly. But we managed to keep the center the same way as the others. At least, as you can see, the center is very small, but it's tidy.
Yes, it is. It's well organised.
Yeah.
Are these plates here, are these for the children and for the women who work here to explain nutrition? Yes. It's a very good way, isn't it, pictorially?
There are volunteers in all of the orphan and vulnerable children centres run by Jackie. Not only do these women come together in preparing a meal for the children, in turn enriching the lives of the children, but it also gives them an opportunity to socialise on a daily basis in a safe environment.
I couldn't cook for 10 people in here, never mind 240.
What is it they're going to do?
And who buys all the fruit? Or
Yes, the Tapologo. We send the
Here in Freedom Park, another location for one of Jackie's centres, the Serve volunteer group refurbished and rebuilt the kitchen in order to make the programme more sustainable. The transformation of the kitchen allows for a more hygienic and safe environment for the ladies to prepare the food for the children. The children come at 2 o'clock every day to collect their meal. Some of the Serve South Africa volunteers were asked their opinion on the Millennium Development Goals and their progress.
Do you think the original Millennium Development Goals were achievable? Were they realistic in what they tried to achieve?
Maybe not, but if they hadn't aimed as high as they did, they may not have achieved as much as they have. I work with people with special needs, and we set goals for them all the time with the hope that they are achievable, and we work towards that all the time.
So John, as you know, we were talking about the Millennium Development Goals last night, and I'd like to ask you, what would you say to world leaders now developing the next set of goals?
Well, what I would say to them is to look at the goals that were set for 2015 or see what worked, what was good, what was achieved, and then see what didn't work and what wasn't achieved, and try to see why that didn't happen, and then go from there. It's something that has to be practical and realistic.
And do you think the original goals were achievable? Were they realistic?
Well, it was good to set the standards high. Set the standards high. It was good to set the goal you have to achieve. And some of them maybe it's nice with they're working towards it, you know, and
The target of reducing extreme poverty rates by half was met 5 years ahead of the 2015 deadline. More than 1 billion people have been lifted out of extreme poverty since 1990. In 1990, nearly half of the population in the developing regions lived on less than $1.25 a day. This rate dropped to 14% in 2015. At the global level, more than 800 million people are still living in extreme poverty. From our time spent in South Africa, we worked alongside sustainable, beneficial and enriching programmes which are working hard in the fight against poverty. The OVC programme is a small element in eradicating extreme poverty and hunger, but it also plays a huge part in the journey towards a more enriching life for those people who live without necessities.
Say bye. Bye. Bye.
Ashivonalite.